Hey, what's up guys, Auto Fanatics. So today's video, I'm taking you for a ride in a classic 1998 Porsche 993 Carrera S. This is the last iteration of an air-cooled Porsche 911 and also the last Porsche that I feel is the true to size as far as its old school and its analog feel. Some really cool things I wanted to show you is they kind of streamlined the front styling from the earlier 964, but it still retains the bug-eye front end, but the bumper is much more streamlined. We got 18-inch turbo twist hollow spoke wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport tires, while the flat six engine out back produces 280 horsepower and 250 foot-pounds of torque, and it's not a rocket by any means, but still fun to drive on your favorite back roads. One of the cool signature styling attributes on the Carrera S is the dual rear extraction grills on the deck lid. This car is super analog with its 6-speed manual transmission and naturally aspirated air-cooled flat six engine combo. To be honest with you, this is one of my favorite classic Porsche 911s by many and is considered a modern classic by today's collectors and Porsche fanatics. These cars are very desirable by Porsche fans and collectors for their tactile and old school feel. And I'll show you the cabin real quick. It's nothing fancy, just pure analog gauges, no tech whatsoever. This car is all about the drive, the sounds, the noises, and the feel. This model also has power steering, which actually feels phenomenal for its era, and even today, coupled with the innovative rear multi-link rear suspension, which was incorporated on the 993 exclusively as a huge engineering step for Porsche towards better ride and handling. So we're going to be doing some cosmetic and mechanic work on this car soon, and this is just my initial evaluation drive. This to show you guys what we're going to be working on. But right after the 993 came, the 996, which was their water-cooled version. It was a huge leap for the 911 to add a nicer interior, a little bit more cabin space, and a much more modern feel. However, when the 996 came out, it completely transformed and restructured Porsche as a brand, not only in what they were doing at the time, but shortly after that, the Porsche Cayenne SUV was introduced, and Porsche became a more mass-produced car manufacturer, which mainly produces SUVs in today's market worldwide. So it's a bit cold today, it's 37 degrees, but we're still gonna strap the camera inside and take you guys for a drive on one of my favorite back rows. We'll talk some more about the Porsche 993 and cars in general. Let's get inside, fire it up, and let's go for a drive right now. All right, guys, let's just take a little ride in the 1998 Porsche 993 C2S. This is the last awesome, naturally aspirated, air-cooled Porsche. What's really cool about these cars, even though this was kind of like the modern version of like the old G-body, it still feels like an old car. And it's the same size as a G-body. That's what's really I love about these older Porsches, were the size. After this car came the 996, and these cars started to grow. I feel that the 997 was the cutoff point as far as letting the 911 chassis grow. Then as it went into the 991s, it's gotten so big now, it's practically the size of a new Mustang. But this car is super analog, and it's very, very communicative. What a fun car. So, we're gonna be doing some work in this car. We're gonna pretty much go through the whole suspension, a bunch of cosmetics. I'll probably show a lot of the stuff either on my Instagram feed or I'll do updated videos for YouTube. If you guys wanna see more content on the air-cooled 993, definitely post it in the comments below. But this is just an initial road test evaluation for the car. A couple of things that I already picked up on that it definitely needs some addressing, but minor stuff that's easily correctable. Now it's still cold out. They just dumped a whole bunch of road salt over here. But this car on a windy back road like this on a weekend, it's pure bliss, absolute bliss. It's not about the 0 to 60 and having the turbo. I used to have a turbo. I had a 993 turbo that I sold in 2012, regretfully so. considering the market on these cars is like $500,000 up to like $800,000 now, depending on the spec. Mine was polar silver with Metropole blue, full leather interior. It was a beautiful car. I think we sold that car for like under 120 grand. But that's what happens. We don't know what's going to happen in the market, and then all of a sudden the Porsche market just exploded. But this car is an absolute blast. The gearing is perfect. The size is perfect. This car has power steering and feels a hell of a lot better than the earlier cars that didn't have power steering, but it's just enough power assist versus, at the time, a 355 Ferrari. I complain that it's a little bit over assisted, but Porsche definitely got the power assist really, really good on these cars, where it doesn't feel vague. It doesn't feel like a Cadillac. The pedals are also go down to the floor, just like the old G bodies. It's another cool attribute of the 993. Even though it was a modern car in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, it was still old school enough. So this car really is the cutoff point between a vintage Porsche and a modern Porsche that you can actually drive more frequently and not really worry about it. However, these cars, this particular type of car, is well worth over $200,000 right now. And of course the turbos are insanity, if you can actually get a hold of a turbo right now. But I'm not pushing it. I mean, the power band in this motor just has VarioRam timing. Between $4 grand and $5 grand is a good sweet spot on these cars. For you actually just enjoy it leisurely. You're not going too fast. You're doing about 50 to 60 miles an hour in between back roads, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Also, the steering wheel, even though it's from the 90s, it doesn't feel too big. Like on a Ferrari, the steering wheel on a 355 feels a little bit big. On this, it doesn't feel terrible. And back in when these cars were new, I modified so many of these things with tech guard kits, Strosek design, roof. These cars were my favorite cars when I was in the whole tuning segment growing up into that, and I started my first business in the 90s. This was, you know, the pinnacle to have. These were all the ball players had, all the, you know, athletes and all the Wall Street guys. They either had these or they had Ferrari Testarossas, or at the time it was the 512. These cars are just awesome. Transmission is awesome in this car. And it's got a good sound. I mean, this car has an aftermarket muffler kit. I think it's Pfister mufflers, I'm not sure. But it's just so much fun. I mean, this car, just to take it on this road, you could feel everything that's going on. And that's what we're losing today on cars. You just get, everything is all computer controlled and overly synthesized. And that real analog feel of the car is pretty much gone. That's why everybody's buying up these older cars. So this is just a quick little drive. If you guys want to see more content on the 993 C2S project, post it below. I would love to share it on the channel with you guys. If you guys want to see it, I'll show it. But I'm just going to go back, put this car away, and finish up my evaluation for the client. And we'll talk some more about it soon. See you guys soon.